Testing 1, 2. Open chats, making sure good. Hearing our audio just yet. Oh, there we go. Testing 1, 2. All right. So we are in Overmorrow, and we're going to stream for an hour and a half today. We will push to because we will not be streaming tomorrow. Our agenda for the day is we're going to spend a few minutes here, say 10, 15 minutes, doing some tree growing here because we need more of our warp stem for our tunnel, one of our tunnels in the nether. And then we need some dirt, so we'll probably see if we can scavenge a little bit more dirt from Dawn Bridge, some of the chests there. And then head over to Inkwood and do some work over there. So that is our agenda for today. Let's see how much of that we can get done. And again, this is day 526 of the journey begins. We are live on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. And we are trying to get to, well, I guess we'll say this. We're trying to get to 1,000 on both TikTok and Twitch. So updating our goals there a little bit. The first milestone on that goal is 300 on both as well. So if you like the stream, feel free to stick around. And if you really like it, feel free to share it out. I guess we're just going to do this each time. That way we can make sure we have space. And no stream tomorrow. Friday is up in the air as to whether we'll stream. US holiday. If we do stream on Friday, it will likely be a much later stream. And then Saturday, Sunday, at least one of those days we'll try to get in the stream, and at least one during the week as well. Did our audio cut out? Okay. Yeah, we need lots of this. We already have a good amount down, so one chest might be enough. Because we've been kind of taking some of it over to Haven's End as we go a little bit. Still need more. We're not quite to where we need to be yet. So yeah, another 10 minutes or so here doing this to get the trees that we need. Yeah, no, they're not technically trees, but I'm calling them trees. Which, that got me thinking based on a Spawn Chunks topic, which great podcast, by the way. I need to add that to my list of commands of podcasts I'm listening to. Before I get too distracted, there's an idea on inventory, which is a big thing. And I think there has to be some kind of compromise between maybe kind of the show don't tell versus exposition in writing. Kind of the I forget who came up with the quote, so someone can correct me on that. I'm in on that, but it's something like, don't tell me the moon shines, show me the glass reflecting at night, something like that. And I do like things like, like the happy gas is another kind of piece of transportation and whatnot. It's creative, and the Strider, which I don't use much, but I still think it's a good idea. Versus just kind of the exposition being just like a lava boat or something like that. Not that I don't think you couldn't have both. But on the inventory side, until you have something that does that kind of show, I think you could have more or less maybe you could have like infinite storage and kind of a new kind of, let's just say, an Ender Chest 2.0. So it might take some effort getting it, but once you have it, you can put everything in there, and then the interface could be searching for things. But to make the searching nicer, you add filters. So maybe you could filter on, say, color and type, or even maybe dimension, something like that. Whatever the community might want, like put in a handful of filters. And then to customize that further, add the ability to hide and show the filters. Because I think that was one of the things that QuickSource had mentioned was like it being funky. But I think that's more a matter of perspective, because I would say the auto crafter, which was added, is very funky. Because you can turn on and off slots, but you can't lock the slots to a particular item. So like our TNT maker constantly has issues if we forget to turn it off. And so that's an issue why I don't use it too much. And I get they want to do timings and whatnot on making it work, but there's nothing stopping anyone from doing that if you also allow the slots to be locked. It adds more sand to the box. If you want to do this thing of, instead of locking it, check out this magnificent contraption. And it doesn't take anything away, and I think that's the adjustment Mojang needs to make to some of the philosophies. Oops. Now, certain things I can see leading towards like the modded community, like actual, say, electricity, or a ray gun or something like that, laser gun, laser, things that are a little that you could, if the world were old enough and had actual history, you could imagine that being there, but leave that up to the mod community to do that kind of thing. Let Mojang be kind of a slower, since their goal is like a 100-year game. Let them work on things at a slower pace. Because I think the risk and reward isn't terrible, but that in of itself is a certain play style, and that's where I think it kind of falls short. We, oh no, we didn't lose our stream yet. Okay, good. We cut that off. Okay. Oh, it is our time. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do this for another, 3 minutes or so, give or take. And then we're gonna do some dirt stuff. We'll probably take a nap so we can do that in daylight and go from there. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I think that's probably pretty good. So we'll just drop off some of this stuff and go sleep and then go from there. Yeah, okay. Drop off some more warp block there. And then we have some stone and diorite we can drop off. Actually, the diorite, why don't we just use that? Right? Yeah, I think we could just use that. Oh, we could put it over here. All right. Go back. So we use now all of that. The stone we can drop off over here. We have space? Yeah, we do. So we'll drop that off. Oh, we have an arrow on us. So yeah, we'll just put it there. Just in case we have enough dirt blocks to do a full load. Let's head out this way. Let's actually start here. We might have hit this already, but why not? Okay. And this would be one of the things we put on our list, like these little tunnels, drainage areas. All of this we'll put on the task list for this project. And then so whenever we have anyone vote on it, pick something from that list. So we'll vote on projects, and then from within that, I'll pick what to work on. Welcome in your local edits. kind of like this too every so often. I mean, this is our drainage area, so calling that out, like making it visible. I don't know how to incorporate that, but it would, the panels would look okay, but the cross panels would be a little weird. But that could make a good drawbridge, I guess, using the arrows as like a drawbridge. So this would look like the binding holding the bridge together. We'll have to see if we remember that when it comes to it. We have some diorite we can pull back with us. Really build scaffolding for a chest. It did. Some diorite, okay. In here, value. Okay. Value at the moment, I guess. That, oh. Did we use the other stream? Because our other stream in the other area is Joe Duggan of the Spawn Chunks we were talking about earlier. Also of the Citadel Cafe. And currently streaming over on Twitch on the Citadel. They do periodically post on TikTok as well, but you can check out their live stream on Twitch. There we go. Okay, so yeah, see this over the water, so somewhere around here over to this dirt path would be barrels or something. Probably make it a little bit longer because that seems a little short on the how much dirt do we have? Not as much as I was hoping for. I don't want to go dig out a bunch either just for this. Is it a warm chicken? It's a warm chicken. We're gonna get some dirt at. Oh, I know. I think we had some chest up here or something. Yeah. I almost forgot about these, although it doesn't look like there's going to be a ton up here that we can use. Oh, but this one does. So we do have some dirt in here. A lot, but let's circle back and maybe see if we can see any chests that we left down from the air. Any... Okay, so it looks like we got all of the chests that were up here. Okay, so let's zoom in over here. Oop. I see 3 dirt. Not a lot, but something. We can take the diorite with this. And diorite. More diorite. Which we need, but I'm really, really, really looking for dirt at the moment. Okay. Did we leave any dirt chests over on this side? I we don't see much over here, then we're just going to do what we have and then head over to Inkwood after because I don't want to spend all day over there. Yeah, okay. Is it this? No, not that one. Probably gonna have to sleep before we head over to Inkwood, which works out. Because oh good, but that's too much for that. We could drop off. How much can we drop off in here? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna offload our dye right into the chest so that way you can free up the shulker box. Get rid of the sand later, but get the dye right out now, and then we'll drop off our dirt, sleep, and head over to Inkwood. So we're gonna cut the dirtying from today, at least for the next phase, because we don't have enough to really do a full load. This one should be empty, right? Okay, good. Fill this up with dirt. I think we have some paper and stuff we can use to make brackets. I like to have 2 to 3 stacks on us. It's a expensive trip to get to Inkwood. Lodestone. What is a lodestone? Okay, chiseled and that. I mean, the lodestone is for spawning, but yeah, I don't want that. So we're gonna put that in there, and that's gonna give us. We should probably go get a fire bush and something. That'd be fine. Just gonna leave the dirt there, but that sets us up nicely. It's probably a little early to sleep. We will go ahead and try to make it to Inkwood, and we'll just try to fly fast before the sun sets, and then we can sleep over there. We reposted our Patreon. It got unpublished for lack of activity. Probably on my part. They would unpublish it. People were subscribing. I don't know. I should probably make monthly posts there. Maybe something linking to. If they're free posts, they could link to, I guess, anything. All right, so we should be. Oh, thank you, AB, give me views. Thank you for the like. Appreciate it. And welcome in. It should be hitting Inkwood pretty soon. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's a nice view there. Look at that ravine coming into focus. That's one of the things where the The happy ghast is nice. Well, some parts of it are nice. I'm still not completely sold on it, on the implementation anyway. The idea is great. Welcome in the blue vigilante. Welcome back. But some of the mounting, dismounting mechanics, I think, should be easier. Not letting it fly more than like 3 or 4 blocks up on the ground if it's not, if it's harnessed or anything, so you can get on it a little easier. That would be a huge thing for me. The mechanics of like leaning forward to go forward and back kind of vertically, or just hitting or the climb button to go up seems a little clunky, but I could get used to that. But it would be nice to have something to do that vertically. And I don't think you necessarily need to worry about, like it's brought up on the spawn chunks a lot, of the mobile and console on that. As long as there's a way to do it, you can have multiple ways on other systems. So I play mobile, Chromecast, Switch, and PC. And there are differences no matter how you implement it on those form factors. And you could add there's add-on controllers you can like snap onto your phone to give it like a Switch style look. A number of things you can do. So I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't make that the restricting gate as long as you have a way to do it. So the way it's implemented of like leaning forward and back, working on mobile, it's fine. And then you could have, like a tab and one other key or something like that, pressing both or whatever combination to just go straight up and down on a like PC. I don't see anything wrong with that. So then if you happen to have both, you get more controls. Otherwise, you're going to be locked into one anyway, and you're going to miss out on other things. So, for instance, like Byron's Visuals works on the PC and the phone, but it doesn't work on Twitch or Chromebook. And even if that comes, there's always restrictions. So the amount of render distance you have is dependent on your system. So things like that, I think it's not as big a concern. Thanks. The other thing. Okay. Oh, did we sleep? Let me make sure I just did that. I think we did. Okay. So now we're gonna go do some mining. Okay. Welcome in, J-Man Juke. Welcome in. Let's do another level. This is going to be more stone than dirt, but we can probably try to pick up some dirt on the way back, or we can do a few rounds on the top. Wait, what are we standing on? Did we? Oh, somehow we landed on the edge there. Interesting. Oh, the other thing on the gas that I would like is the ability to look straight down. So when we were flying and we were looking straight down, granted we're looking at gravel now, but when we were flying overhead and looking down, that's the kind of view that I still want. And there's not really a good way of doing that outside of maybe scaffolding or something, and then bridging out a little bit and then looking down. Hello, Astro. How's it going? How's the Wednesday? And working on any Minecraft projects yourself? I am currently working on clearing out some stone here for the ravine around Inkwood, and doing pretty well, making progress, getting a a layer or so on the, what would it be, the north side done, and also getting some dirt to help transform Overmorrow. Bouncing back between those two cities for the last little bit. And collecting the stone and then some warped fungus for a stone here and then warped fungus and a warp stem, I guess, from Overmorrow for a project in the Nether, for Haven's End, which is our project in the Nether. Let's do some more copper here. And then after that, we'll probably bounce around here because this is going to be more work for a few weeks. Thank you for the follow, Astro. Really appreciate it. And we'll go from the warp stem to ice because we need about 50,000 packed ice. Okay. Because we want to make the walls blue. Now, I don't know if we'll make it entirely packed ice, but a majority of it, because we want it to feel blue because it's meant to represent a fountain that you're coming through on Inkwood. And you're going through a control tunnel in the Nether, so the idea is that you can't tell you're in the Nether. So yeah, our plan there is to do something like the packed ice. I guess we could do maybe we could play around with some like blue wool and stuff, but I want to, not that the ice is fireproof, but things that are less likely to burn. At least the ice I don't think would stay on fire. The wool would burn out as well. So maybe we could do that. Anyway, blue walls and a green floor. It's because I want to do something a little different. I don't want to be entirely like that. Although if there were blue slabs, then we might consider that. Welcome in, Sarah. How's the Wednesday going? Oh, we're out of here's some gather. Working on any Minecraft projects yourself, Sarah? We are making a ravine, and in 1 second, I'll do a flyover for you. Okay. I don't want to deal with this slime, so good time to do the flyover. All right, so this should be far enough away. We'll do a turn. So we're digging out a ravine here down to bedrock. And actually, maybe up here will be a little bit better. Got a little too ambitious there. We can probably do some of it here. So we won't be able to see the fronts, but you can see, yeah, working on the ravine there. This side is going to go down to bedrock as well as the, so this is north. I think this would be east. Oh, thank you for the follow, Sean. Appreciate it. Welcome in. How's the Wednesday going? And thank you for the like, Sarah. Appreciate it. And this would be the west side. So this is also going to come down to bedrock. The backside here, we're not going to take it down to bedrock. We'll take it down just a little bit. We want to get rid of some of these like shallow islands and make it 3, 4, maybe 5 blocks deep. Or maybe a little deeper, something kind of like this depth here, because we want this back to be a large lake that kind of feeds a waterfall on either side and ties into the ravine. And that way, part of the novel that we're trying to write has an important piece that revolves around entry coming through this bridge. So we need to kind of force our focal point over that bridge. And then we have a dirt path back there. So there'll be a little rope bridge or something that isn't caravan grade. And that will go back to our garden temple, which is our lower level project in the overworld. And lower level projects are at least 1,000 by 1,000 or bigger as far as their perimeter. In the case of the garden temple, it's over 1,000 by 1,000 and also bedrock to build height. So we probably won't go visit that today, but if you stick around long enough, we'll probably visit it. And if you check out our Mind Trip Media VODs, there's a 2-hour world tour that has it. Yes. Is it? Yeah, so this is entirely me building it. It's a survival bedrock world. It is on a realm so that I can cross-play with my other devices. So I have 3 accounts that I play across PC, Switch, mobile, and Chromebook. There's the main account that I'm on now, which is what I call our hero account. And then we have an AFK account. So when we need to do some iron, gold, whatnot, we have an account that we can just leave there and separate our hours out of AFK. So we get a better feel of how much time we're actually playing. And we'll combine, to figure out how much time we're actually playing, we'll combine this account with our spirit account. And that purpose of that account is whenever we go visit Haven's End, you'll see it easier. But whenever we need to build in the end or over a lava lake, something that is dangerous and risking losing our gear, we'll use the spirit account because it never has anything more than a gold helmet, basically, and a stack or 2 of whatever material that we need to put down. So that way, inevitably, when something goes wrong, we don't set ourselves back very much. And then once it's safe enough, then we can send our hero account here in to speed up the building process. And yeah, so that's our process and our workflow. So for now, we don't see it, but when we get down a little bit lower, when we get to bedrock, there is a large cavern below us. And we did send our spirit account down there to light some things up to make it a little bit safer. And once we break through bedrock, we'll probably send our spirit account down again, do more lighting and just kind of safety run through. Making sure we don't have too much dripstone that we could fall on to hurt ourselves and help with the spawning. But welcome in, I Love Monkey, and thank you for the like, appreciate it. And yeah, if there's any questions about the story, building, our streaming setup, other games, food, Legos, anything in kind of that realm, feel free to drop those kind of questions or thoughts in the chat. One of the goals besides just growing the channel is also growing the a conversation in the channel as well. Yeah, make it more fun. And just to, not that anyone has done it, but just something I want to be in the habit of and encouraging is like backseating is perfectly fine as well. I know some other streamers don't like it, but I'm perfectly fine, with the caveat that it doesn't mean that I'll do it, but you're more than welcome to suggest something or say if you do it this way, you can do this or that. And not just on Minecraft, but any game that we play. I'm, yeah, perfectly fine with all of that. I kind of view it as even if it's not something that I want to do, it might inspire somebody else. I want to do a little more over here. What's our inventory? So our inventory isn't too bad yet. A couple spots. Oh, and just to add on to the questions here, I've had it a few times. So I'll go ahead and mention it. The world itself, I guess, is about 6 years old. Building bits and pieces of it since that long, but I've only been building seriously to kind of tie all of those builds into a story since January. Maybe the last 3 years, trying to build things with intention and not just build them in like random locations. So kind of a 3-part answer. That. Okay. Yeah, so 3 years we were kind of, let's build a farm because we're going to need this or that, and building with a little more intention. And then the last, since January, building with, we need this farm for this or that, but how does it tie into the story? Where should it belong? Should it be visible? Should we put it in the wall so we can hide it? Just putting more of a structure to not just what we build, but where we build it. Which, helps me decide what to build, when to build, because we also divide our builds. We have like lore, story, book, chapter, paragraph, sentence, word. I have that written down somewhere. So we categorize our builds based on kind of literary units to help with some of that. And then, what's my thought there? Oh, that's it. So in addition to all of the pieces that we were just talking about, we also label the projects, besides having a size designation like paragraph or lore. There's also resource positive and resource negative. And some of it might encompass both. But, so something like the garden temple, I'd probably say neutral because we're cleaning from the surface to bedrock, which would generate some material. But we're also building the build height, which is going to use that material, in particular sand, which we won't get all of it from within the temple. So calling it neutral because it will give us a lot of stone for other projects, but we're going to need sand that we're going to have to get from elsewhere as well. A lot of it can come from the area that we're building it, but not all of it. And so the ravine here is entirely a net positive. as far as resources, because we're collecting the stone, dirt, whatnot. Even when we're doing some moss mining, we're still gathering the copper and whatnot from here. And then a place like Haven's End would be resource negative because we're not using any of the netherrack. It's stone as the foundation, in particular the slabs. And it's going to be 1,000,000 slabs, so it's highly good to be back. It's a highly resource deficit or resource negative project. And if you want to check out some of the farms as well, some of those will be on the VOD channel and some will be on the gaming channel. I do want to try to get some more cut down stuff put on the gaming channel. Maybe we'll try to do that sometime over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Cut down our world tour or something, put some stuff there. And some more farm designs as well. You can also find some of those on our Blue Sky and TikTok as well. We just posted our shulker farm on TikTok yesterday. It's a mini shulker farm. I want to say it's like 4 and hopper and a fence. But it's, yeah, you can check out the TikTok and YouTube and whatnot for some of those farms. We haven't done a lot, but okay. Put some more dirt in there. Fill that up a little bit better. Okay. What's our time? So we're still doing pretty good. And it looks like our audio is fairly delayed, more than usual. So if I don't answer a question right away, feel free to repeat it, just to make sure that it didn't get lost. Do a perimeter here and as we get closer or lower on the y-axis, I'm trying to be a little bit more careful, because I do know that there is a cavern below us, and I'm not sure where it all meets at the level that we're at, so we don't want to risk falling. TS is tough. I'm not sure what that is, but I mean tough in Minecraft. Let's drop off some. But we don't need our flint. We're pretty good there. But in any case, welcome in. I don't know, Sigma. Well, thank you for the compliment and the explanation. I did not know that. I learned something new. And double thank you for the like, appreciate it. And thank you for the like on the live. trying to build something kind of cool. Which, on that note, I probably need to. I'm traveling tomorrow, but so either today or within the next 2 weeks, we are going to do a world backup and put that on our GitLab. Currently, you can download the January version, but I'm gonna update that here in the next few days, and within the next probably 2 weeks, get that up on GitLab. So if you want to download the world and all the other projects that we have going in it, you're more than welcome to do that and explore around. And if you didn't catch it earlier, there's a cut down 30-minute video on our TikTok of our world tour, and the full 2-hour video is over on our VODs on YouTube. Inkwood here is one of our smaller projects, but still hopefully kind of impressive. This ravine that we're working on is going to cut down on 3 sides, or cut around Inkwood on 3 sides. And then we have some friends on the wall there, and we have one encased in moss there that have stolen some of our resources. So we're going to hire them to be part of our story down here, you know, monsters in the ravine kind of thing. So we are trying to, what we're building is going to be part of a novel that we're trying to write. And then we're also going to do another project on GitLab that's more of a journal from what we're calling the builder's perspective. And the builder will be Minecraft resources, so that's why that one will be kind of free and open of that format. The novel that we're trying to write is just something we're building in Minecraft, but doesn't actually make use of any Minecraft resources, since we don't have any permission to do that. Did we lose our audio? 1, 2. Oh, no, it looks like our audio is okay. Refresh our monitor just to be sure. But yeah, if you have any other questions on the story of Minecraft, dream setup, food, Legos, other games, feel free to drop those thoughts or questions in the chat. Let's do this. So when we get this section done, oh, we have a little bit over there too, so we're almost there. We did say we'd probably go to about an hour and a half or so, a little bit longer today since we won't be streaming tomorrow. Which I guess we'll go ahead and mention it, since we won't be doing it this week because of the holiday, but Friday and Saturdays we've just started doing Satisfactory, and then Sundays and Mondays we've been doing Planet Crafter. So those will resume not, would it be the 4th? So not the weekend after the 4th, but the weekend after that. We'll start getting back into it. Yeah, glad you like it. WK Sigma. Trying to, and I don't know if you got this earlier, the world itself is probably about 6 years old. We were just kind of exploring something and being like, oh, this valley looks interesting. Let's build a little house here. No real rhyme or reason to anything. And then maybe about 3 years ago, we started make a list of the things we want to build, different farms and whatnot, and with the resources from those farms, what else can we build? And then since January, everything we build is kind of story back. So should this building be visible? Should it tie into the story? Should we hide it? And should we hide it? Should we hide it in the wall? Where does it belong? Where is it going to be the most useful? How many iron farms do we need? All of that kind of stuff. And how does it tie into the story? Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll go to the garden temple here in a minute. Yeah, we're about an hour, so maybe we'll drop off some stuff and go there. That's our kind of oldest project. So the first little bit, we were just kind of randomly doing stuff. We never built anything at spawn. We just moved far away and kind of reset our point there. And we never had an issue with the bed where we got sent back to spawn. We took out an ocean monument and just kind of made a base there. And in hindsight, it feels like it was a long time, but it probably really wasn't. I guess we can drop off some of this. Both of those, yeah. So we're gonna make a quick stop up here, and then we're gonna go to the garden temple. And, you see that? Everyone, or let everyone see that. Drop off some more gravel, and we can drop off that. And we just need to drop off some copper, and then we'll head over. So let's fill this in. We don't have anything as fancy as Pixelriff's David. This works. Okay. I'll fly up and take the road back. So the roads also kind of connect our builds, and that was something we worked on this year as well. And then we have a project in the Nether that is 1,000 by 1,000 slabs. And yeah, I guess we could go through the Nether because we need to go back to Overmorrow anyway, so we can go through Overmorrow, or we can go through Haven's End to get back to Overmorrow. So there's a desert we're flattening to get the stone, or the sandstone, because we're working on this project. So it's going to be a step temple that goes from bedrock to build height. The lanes that you see in the ocean there are so that we can drain the ocean. And the lava is going to be encased in glass so that we have some light to work with. But we spent a long time just kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of goofing around here. So the world is old, but we haven't been building with a lot of intention for very long. Where does this take us? Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay. This is Haven's End. So it starts at 0, 0, and then goes to 0, 1,000, and negative 1,000, 1,000. The smooth stone here is on the 100 line. So if you got here, you're at 400. And that gives you an idea of a direction. And then when you hit the 500 lines, those are different colors like purple, copper, blackstone, polished blackstone, something like that, and quartz, so that we can tell like whether we're going north, south, east, west based on the color. And that's one of the things that we had a loose idea of that from the beginning, but we're leaning more into it of using the color to tell direction. And in the case of Inkwood, we're going to put stained glass in a wall and on the ground so that as you see the sun shining through it, it will indicate what time it is. So leaning into some of those subtle ways of how do we tell time without a watch or navigate without a compass. So almost there. Which earlier we had mentioned we were working a lot at the garden temple above, and we hadn't set. Um, we hadn't been back to spawn because we'd just been working that area for so long. We just ran away from spawn and never came back until we had an incident where we put down a bed and then the bed exploded in the nether, and then a few more times there was some kind of glitch in Minecraft where even though we had slept in a bed, it didn't recognize our last spawn point and put us back at spawn, and having to traverse those 3,000 blocks without any armor was challenging. And so after that happened, I don't know, half a dozen times, we decided to build Overmorrow. Which I guess we did try to do something. So we'll show that here in a second. So when we first spawned into the world, we built this tower, and then we decided we wanted to actually see some of the world. And then that's when we kind of ran away and started working on the ocean monument and actually doing more than just a stone structure. But this tower is the old build height 256. This is Overmorrow, which we'll come back to in a second. This tower in the distance there is to 320, the new build height. So working that into the story of this one is maybe going to be a little rougher at the top, like something happened to it. And then Overmorrow is a half circle bumped up against the wall. And it's very bright on that side and dark on the other side, north side, because other than Dawnbridge, there's nothing built in the north side of the world. So anything north of 0, the only thing that we're doing is building just Dawnbridge and decorating this up, but there won't be anything that we build out there. There can be villages and stuff that are generated, but nothing like that. And it's a little hard to see here, but you can tell with all the lighting that there's a lot of torches in there. We're probably going to replace those with maybe some candles, or at least some of them, and have those represent adventures that have gone off. Not necessarily never come back, but that have gone off. And maybe we'll make that distinction between the candles and torches. One is adventures who have come back, and one is adventures who haven't. Did we drop anything? Good. And then the waterway is cased in white on the east side and black on the west, so doing another kind of color thing there and direction. That is the part of Overmorrow, and then maybe we'll sleep and show some of the other stuff. So for anyone that's still around in chat, what do you think so far? So now we'll go back up. Yeah, it takes 2 rockets to get up here now. But now we can see it a little bit easier. So some of these dotted lines are buildings. So that one's our bed shop. This one's going to be the library and the house of our protagonist. I think that's our leather shop, and then our weapons and our armor shop. Chicken, bamboo, dripstone. This still needs a perimeter, but the lava shop there. The blue circle back there is our cleric hall, which will tie into a cleric hall over at Martyr's Bay. And oh yeah, a park here, and then things that are like the floating islands and the bones are, if they were generated as part of the world and not something that we did. We're trying to preserve some of those old terrain generation bloopers. So being the 6-year-old world kind of thing, you can see some of the sand is actually floating. There is some sandstone there, but this was its own structure, and if we would to build anything on top, it would all collapse. So we're just leaving that there and preserving it and trying to figure out how to work that into the world. Maybe we make it like a viewpoint and put like some scaffolding or something nearby, or have something where you climb up on something and jump down onto it. I don't know. Wow, that rain really, really doused our visibility here. Uh, okay. Yeah, I want to get a screenshot of that. So I don't necessarily mind that if there was more control over it, because I like the old one of being able to see through the rain, but if I had control over this, I wouldn't mind using this as a way to start a scene of, particularly if you could trigger it somehow. I don't know that I want to do command blocks because I want to keep it survival, but something that would trigger the rain with fog, and then the fog would go away and like reveal, a big scene or something. So I think that's my biggest critique for the vibrant visuals is being able to trigger some environmental things and also more sliders on how to control things. Because the orangeness, like you can see how clear it gets here, but then how orange it gets when we come a little farther to the desert side of the village. It's a little jarring for me, and it kind of washes out some of the textures a little too much. And this is regular dirt, but it kind of looks like the what is that other dirt? Not rooted dirt. Coarse dirt? Yeah, coarse dirt. Could not think of coarse dirt. All right, so we have some items to drop off. So let's go drop that off over here. Close enough, and so we have lots of stone, so we can drop off lots of this. Let's keep the dirt for last, because then we might go dirty. Oh, stone is over there. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's say, how can you craft diamonds? Break down a diamond block. Yeah. Stone, okay. So, okay. Grab our diorite here. Our diorite and stone. Okay. So we're gonna have to do one more trip. Or we might just leave one there and we'll see. But as you saw when we were coming through Haven's End, it's a lot of slabs. So it would be what, 500,000 stone blocks. We do have a lot done. I think we're probably close to the 800,000 slab mark. So we still have a little bit to go, but we're getting there. Okay, so we have some dirt here. I don't think we have a lot of dirt over here, though. We actually got most of it out of the Dawn Bridge already. So, well, since we don't have much, maybe we'll just go over and lay down what we had. It'll probably be enough to knock out this little bit, so maybe that won't be so bad. And we can do a little snippet or something of that. So we're trying to do some curated clips. To kind of show off the progress so far and get more attention. Since we're doing a lot of the terraforming and initial framing work, I don't know that that's the most exciting, but I think for some people seeing that and seeing it develop might be interesting. So let's pull this in. Yeah, and I think I don't watch as many of like the Minecraft Direct videos, but another topic that was on Spawn Chunks was marketing of it, and I would agree that it's a good phase 1, but marketing it as something that was already in a really good state, it was a little misleading. So the shadows are good. And I like them. I know some people would want them tweaked a little bit, which is fine. Maybe, again, the kind of sliders and control of it. The water reflection is great. And I guess the water in general too, or reflections and water. So not just water reflections. But the other things, yeah, so like shadows, I really like that. It comes down to more the color. Because you can, another observation was you can control things like the bloom and clouds, although I don't know exactly what the cloud thing does. I don't know this much. I mean, going from low to ultra, I would expect something more more visible. I'm sure there's at least a subtle change. I just can't see it. But then you have things like the bloom on the candles, which are torches and candles, that kind of stuff, which, you know, is noticeable. But you can't turn it off, which was the observation. And that is another thing. And the other one was like the obsidian here, it looks shiny, but you lose some of the texture in it at a distance. I don't necessarily mind that. The obsidian thing I don't mind as much. It's more the saturation. And some of the fog stuff, yeah, because the first day we tried vibrant rituals, I don't know how many times we almost crashed because we couldn't use elytra because, well, we couldn't easily use our elytra because we kept having close calls with mountains, with hills. And then there's, because we were already having render distance issues where we were crashing into invisible render walls. Was that everything? Okay. That was everything. Okay. Okay, so this is dark enough that we had some mob spawn there. Let's torch down some stuff so that we don't get mobs spawning. Okay, I think that's pretty good. There's a dark spot here. I did have too many torches, then not enough, and then once we get things built, we'll replace those with light sources that'd be lanterns and whatnot that'd be built into the builds. So built into the buildings, under carpets, all of those kind of tricks and whatnot. Oh, we need to grab some carrots. Perfect. And with that, I think we're going to sleep. Go grab some more, another quartz stem. Yeah, do that for about 10 minutes. So we'll close out our stream back. Okay, so and just drop ourselves in. There's a lot of tree up there. Okay, so that's good. Get some stacks in there. So let's start chopping. And then get to doing some stuff we need to do before we head out tomorrow. And I will try to remember to set the vacation mode on anyone that's watching on Twitch, but if I forget and you're watching, remember that. We'll be back to streaming on the 13th on our whatever our regular schedule is for that day. think that's a Sunday, which would be a Planet Crafter and Minecraft day. We're at a sustainable spot, so we get enough bone meal now to continue this work. We get more bone meal than we use, which is good. Welcome in, Senagoku. Welcome back. Yeah, so we'll kind of wind down our stream here. We don't need to mend our tools today, not all of them, so we probably won't do that. I do want to get some more on our writing projects done, in addition to some things we need to do traveling. So yeah, we'll go work on that stuff. Okay. Get everything? Okay. Couple back here. Oh, the leaves. And maybe we'll go drop off some of this stuff. Some, yeah, wort block versus wort stem. Let's get some of this composting. Some miscellaneous stuff up there. Okay. This is one of the things we're talking about on the story side of things. We've hidden this nether warped stem, nether foliage farm inside of the wall. Once the wall is all encased and textured, at least on this section of it, it won't be obvious that there is this kind of farm on the inside. Even these walls, which are light sources, they'll be lighting inside, but there'll be solid blocks on the outside that will prevent the light from, or prevent the texture from being seen. Getting there, another 5 minutes, and not bad. It's gonna be a good one. Okay. An okay one. Here, call this. You missing spots? Nope. Okay. Yeah, go on. You get it? Oh, good. That's your time. Let's go drop offs in the morning. 7. We're getting there. Getting there. I'm gonna do one more tree. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's drop this off, and then we'll find a spot to do our. Okay. Looks pretty good. I don't think we'll do the screenshot of our gunpowder farm just yet. So with that, I think we'll say thank you for joining day 526 of the Journey Begins. Thank you, I don't know, Sigma, for the likes and follows and questions. Thank you, Sarah and Sean and Astro, and anyone else that I may have missed. And thank you everyone on Twitch as well. Appreciate the views, likes, follows, everything to help us kind of grow our presence. We will see you not tomorrow. We'll be away. Between now and the 12th, we'll try to get in maybe 2 or 3 streams. We'll just have to play that by ear. So keep an eye out on our Blue Sky for those announcements. The next time we do stream, we'll be doing some more work in Inkwood, something like this, so that we can get some more dirt and put that down here in Overmorrow. The terraforming is actually going pretty well. Actually, I think I'll go down the back to look at that. So you can see our grass growing back here. So we have a good amount of progress on our terraforming there. And yeah, so we'll see you next time when the journey continues, sometime before the 13th. But keep an eye out again on Blue Sky for that announcement. And if you need links to our social media, it's linktree/mindtripmedia. And the link for that will be on our outro screen here in a second. That will have links to our VODs over on YouTube, our Twitch, our TikTok. Blue Sky is there. GitLab if you want to do the world download, which will have the new summer download within the next week or two, hopefully. And so with that, yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your Thursday. And if you're in the US, have a good holiday weekend.